Produce section, and here you're going to be able to find foods of many colors. You're going to find fruits and you're going to find vegetables. Some of them might be cut up or some of them may still need to be prepared. But filling our plates half full with different vegetables is really important because it provides a wide variety of nutrients for us that'll help with your eyes, it'll help with keeping you from getting sick. And so some of them that we have here today are going to be things like kohlrabi, which is great when you eat it raw or baked. We have fennel, which has a taste of kind of like licorice. And we also have some Swiss chard, which is good in stir fry or in salads. But all of those may be green, but they also have plenty of different nutrients in them. We've now made our way into the organic section. What you're going to see here is a lot of the same fruits and vegetables that you've seen throughout the other areas of the produce. But the difference is that these have a natural pesticide on them rather than the other pesticides that are more commonly used. Organic is going to be more expensive, but what you're going to learn is that all fruits and vegetables are still healthy for you.
All right. So we're going to show how to pick out some good fruits and vegetables. We're starting with some watermelon. The first thing that I always look for when I look for watermelon is that they have a nice yellow spot on them that shows that they sat on the ground and they actually ripened. Where if you look at this watermelon, it has no yellow spots at all on it. It's going to mean it's actually underripe. So it's not going to be as sweet as a watermelon that's actually ripened all of the way. And it shouldn't be mushy in any spots. It should be nice and hard when you knock on it, but it should also have this spot to show that it's ripened very well. Okay, so next we're going to talk about pineapples. This is kind of a tricky one to get right, but if I was going to buy a pineapple, I would buy a nice green pineapple. These stems are very much intact. They're really hard to pull out, and this is underripe. This is going to be nice and ripe in about 5 or 6 days sitting on my countertop as it is. If I needed a pineapple about 2 to 3 days out, I would pick this one that has started to change and it starts to have this golden color creeping up. It's a lighter green. The stems are still intact, but if I pull on them, I could pull one out. And this one's about 2 days out. If I needed a pineapple today, I would choose this one. It's a nice golden color all the way up. These stems in here easily come out, which means it's very ripe. This can be very, very sweet, and this one you would eat today.
One of the ways that we find that we get an excess amount of calories without even realizing it is in the things that we're drinking. We're drinking a lot of things like sodas or Gatorades, your Powerades, your sweet teas. All of those are going to be full of sugar, and that is going to have calories in it. So ways that we can decrease the amount of calories we're getting is by changing the things we're drinking. Drinking things like water, unsweetened iced tea, black coffee, and milk are the 4 best options. But if you want to have a little bit of flavor and pizzazz to your drink, adding things like Crystal Light and your Mios, some of these Crystal Lights are even going to have caffeine in them. So that way then, if you are trying to transfer off of soda, then this is going to be an option so that you can still get that caffeine boost and not have your headaches. And when you're talking about Kool-Aid for your kiddos, you can also do sugar-free Kool-Aid. It's not going to have any calories, not going to have any added sugar to it. So that's another good option as well. Okay, when you're looking at your almond and your soy milk, these two are going to be for people that no longer want to drink cow's milk or you can't tolerate it. Maybe you're lactose intolerant. And so the difference between these two is that your almond milk is going to be about 30 calories. It's a 1 gram of protein and 1 gram of carbs. Whereas with your soy milk here, it is going to be 110 calories for 8 ounces, 8 grams of protein, and 9 grams of carbohydrates. So it's more similar to the cow's milk when you're looking at the nutrition facts to it. Whereas your almond milk is going to be a lower amount of calories. But it's still a good option. All 3 of these still have calcium in them, so they're all really good for your bones and helping to keep your bones strong.
All right, so now we're on to cooking oils. The first one I'm going to talk about is olive oil. We highly recommend olive oil or any other oils that are liquid at room temperature because they're high in unsaturated fats, which are healthier fats. I particularly like olive oil because it's high in omega-3s, which are heart healthy fats. They help our blood vessels to open up when we eat omega-3s. It's easier for our body to pump blood throughout. But so this is a great choice. Looking for the off-brand of olive oil is great to save you a little bit of money. But there's a lot of other options. You can also choose something like grapeseed oil. This is another awesome oil that is liquid at room temperature. It's unsaturated. It's made from a plant. Otherwise, there's also sunflower oil, safflower oil. Otherwise, regular canola or vegetable oil will work as well. To cut down on some fats in your diet, if you want to try some cooking spray, you can choose the olive oil or canola oil based cooking sprays. And this just limits the amount of oil that you're actually putting into your pan, so it's a little bit lighter for you. But I also want to talk about coconut oil, where coconut oil is generally seen as, a healthier fat. It's actually a saturated fat. So we want to try to limit coconut oil just because it's not as heart healthy as our olive or safflower oil.
We are now in the dressing aisle, and as you know, there are a ton of options for dressings. Should I get my Italian? Should I get the creamy Italian? What about the olive oil based dressings or the vinaigrettes? So we're going to talk you through those. Looking at some of these dressings, the first thing I like to think is that if you can see through it, it's a better option. So like this crisp and lively Italian, you can kind of see through it here, as compared to our creamy Italian that you can't. So this is going to be more of your unsaturated fat, and it's going to be a healthier fat for you rather than your cream based ones that are more of that saturated fat and that cause heart disease. Okay, now we're going to talk about frozen meals. Frozen meals are really great. They're super convenient, but you just have to be really careful because a lot of times they are jam-packed full of sodium. And making sure that we're reading our nutrition label to make sure that we're not getting a full day's worth of salt in one meal is really important. So I picked out two here that are lean cuisine, and they're relatively healthier options. They include a vegetable, a meat, and a starch, and that's a good thing to look for as well, the veggie, meat, and starches. So this one here has 490 milligrams of salt, and that's a pretty decent amount to find. Some trying to stay under that 500 milligrams is important. That's a good goal to set. But also trying to find them that have a good amount of protein in them. So this one talks about that it had 15 grams of protein in it. And so what you'll want to do is you'll just look on the back here at the nutrition label and see that it has 16 grams of protein. So that's a good amount of protein to find. But being careful that you are, once again, looking for those deals, trying to find the ones that are cheapest and the healthiest option. So next we're going to go onto the frozen vegetable aisle. Frozen veggies are the best thing ever created. And that is because you can stick them in the microwave for like 5 minutes and you've got a part of your meal already. You don't have to do anything else to it. And all you need to do is make sure that you're grabbing a bag that says steamable on it. On the back will be the directions on how to make it. Stick it in the microwave, you're all done. But another great part about frozen vegetables is that you have a bunch of different varieties. Everything from broccoli to spinach, asparagus, corn. They've even started making protein-packed vegetables that have your whole grains in them, like quinoa or couscous, lentils, all different things that can come in them. We encourage you though to buy the ones that don't have any of the sauces with them, just the regular vegetable. You can add cheese on top of your veggies if you like cheese, that's fine. But by buying the ones that don't have anything added to them, you're not going to get any of that salt to it. And frozen vegetables are just as healthy and just as nutritious as your fresh ones, but the perks are you can leave them in the freezer for longer, and you don't have, they're already cut up. You don't even have to do the work. We're now in the bread aisle, and one thing you may feel like when you get to the bread aisle is that it's really hard to find what you want. You don't really know which one to pick, which one is the best option. And so today we pulled 4 different types of bread, and each one of them are a little bit different. So the first one we're going to show you is just a regular old-fashioned 100% whole wheat bread. This is This is going to be a bread that has more fiber in it because anything that is 100% whole wheat is going to have more fiber. And you might ask, how do I know if it's whole wheat? Well, one thing you can look at is this little stamp right here. It's just like it's going to be on any type of whole grain item, and you'll see it says 100% whole wheat. Now, the second way that you can tell if something is made with whole wheat flour is by looking at the ingredient list. And this one says whole grain wheat flour. So that is an excellent way to know that this is actually made with whole wheat flour. The next one we're going to pull out is the white made with whole wheat flour. Now, the difference between this is that the main ingredient is enriched whole wheat flour. So that means that they had to add back those nutrients. And so it's not going to have as much fiber. And lastly, we have a different type of bread. If you're looking for something that's not made with as much flour, this one is actually made with oatmeal or oats instead of the actual flour. So now we've moved into the meat section, and in here you're going to find all different forms of protein. But the trick is how to buy protein that is still affordable. And so the first way I would suggest is trying to look for the sales. If you see something's half off or buy one get one free, that's a great place to start. But I would also encourage you to look at the frozen section, because a lot of times your things that come frozen are in larger quantities, and so you get more bang for your buck. But we'll go ahead and look at the different types of meat. In here we have chicken. Your chicken is going to be a more lean type of meat. It has less fat on it, and so it's going to have less calories, and it's going to be a healthier option for you. So just for example, this package of chicken is going to be $9.97, and all you're getting is 1.4 pounds. And this package of chicken is $7.99, and it's 3 pounds. So the price difference is a lot different. It's a lot more reasonable to buy this frozen one. Next, we're going to talk about different kinds of meat. Ground turkey and red meat. So the red meat here is going to be a higher fat content, and it's going to have more calories in it. Whereas your ground turkey has less fat in it, and it's going to have less calories. And your ground turkey is also a white meat, so it automatically has less fat. With your red meat, one thing you're going to want to look at is the percentages right here, where it says 80-20. We want this second number to be as low as possible and the first one to be as high as possible. So 90-10 or 93-7, paying attention to that number right there is really important. But you'll notice as this number gets higher, so does your price. So just be aware that that is what's going to happen. So instead, we encourage you to try to buy more chicken, more fish, ground turkey, because these are going to be healthier options of meat. And lastly, buying fish. Fish is also a very good option of protein source. Trying to get fish 2 to 3 times every week is really good. And you can also buy those in the frozen section, and that will make them more affordable as well. Next, we're going to go over healthy snacking options. This is personally one of my favorite topics because snacking is one of my favorite things to do. And so snacking can be a great time to get more fruits and vegetables or whole grains into your diet. And so choosing healthy snacks is really important. So some of my favorite snacks is going to be starting out with some baby carrots and some hummus. There's plenty of different varieties of hummus, so if you kind of like spicy foods or crunchy with some pine nuts, that could be the way you go. But that's a good option, and it's really easy. You can keep it in a mini fridge at work, something like that. Your next option could be something like some cheese and pretzels. This is a good option because your cheese has protein in it, and your pretzels can be whole grain. And so that's going to help you to keep you full for longer because of that protein and that fat and cheese. It'll hold you over longer than maybe having just a piece of fruit all by itself. The next one we have is just a thing of fruit. But I would encourage pairing this with maybe some nuts or a cheese stick, something that's going to have that protein in it, help you stay full for longer. And then lastly, these are going to be some protein packs that you can find. This is something easy that you can grab quick. You don't have to prepare anything. So this one has some baby carrots, some raisins, and some cheese in it. So it's got a little bit of everything. And then this one here is just apples and cheese, but it's a great combo.